Hello and welcome to another Webtoon newsletter. We have finally caught up. We are at the last newsletter before the genre finalists are announced, and I'm so freaking excited to see what they have to say here. I really enjoyed the last couple of newsletters because they kind of built on each other. They gave us a peek behind the curtain. We were able to understand a little bit more of Webtoons, like the corporation, their perspective on things. So I'm really happy that they are actually sharing some of these tips with us. So today it's all about preparing a pitch. So if that's something that you would like to understand, you would like to have locked and loaded and ready to go for in case anybody reaches out to you professionally, you can have this stuff down and ready. So let's go ahead and dive in. Hi, legends. Let me turn down this music. Is it loud? It seems loud. Hi, legends. We are closing in on the end of the contest. Stay tuned for a special announcement soon. Our last few newsletters have been leading up to this moment. This week, let's talk about professional pitches. There are a few important insights to share related to pitches. It's important to keep in mind that Webtoon editors do not accept unsolicited pitches. Okay, but also, they put this in here, like we know who the Webtoon editors are. Like, the Webtoon editors are so low key. It's kind of hard to find them, to be honest. Like, I know of a couple, but also I feel like a majority of them, no clue. I'll never know. So in the professional publishing world, this basically means pitching opportunities are by invitation only. So unless there's an open call, it means don't hit them up. But I will say, in the networking world, depending on the networking world, in the world, when you're networking, I mean, obviously you're networking to foster a connection that will push you forward in your business, in your career. So eventually you could get the opportunity to possibly pitch to an editor if you have an established relationship with them. So this is why I say don't ever underestimate networking, because there's always workarounds to things. Because if you know somebody who knows somebody, or you are friends with somebody, they might be willing to help you out because they like you. And that's just the reality of being a human. I'm sorry to everyone who does not agree with this because they feel like everything in the world should be fair and balanced and perfect, but it is not. And this is one of the things that anybody can foster, and it doesn't take a lot. Just simple thank yous and hellos and just checking in with you go a long way with a lot of people. And I know that sounds kind of insincere, but I mean, if you do it because you want to without the expectation of always gaining something from the interaction, that's where you can add a little bit of sincerity to things. Like, sometimes I will just message people to check in on them. I'll be like, hey, how are things going? Haven't talked to you in a while. And they'll just send, maybe we'll send back one or two more messages, and then I'll dip out. So all I'm saying is, my point in all of this is, you don't always need to message people with the thought of, I must obtain something from you, because that can turn people off. A little networking tip there for you. In the professional, read that. So please wait for editors to reach out to you first. I don't disagree with this, but I also don't agree with it, because if the opportunity is there, I feel like you miss all the shots you don't take. So it's hard to say, hey, I would like to pitch a series to you, and then for them not to respond. That's where I'm just like, there's so many instances where you could just pitch the series to them. I know they're saying don't do it because they don't want you to. I'm just saying, I feel like there are circumstances where you could take your shot. You can pitch yourself. So I would say don't always, sometimes you have to put in the legwork yourself to obtain opportunities and obtain the moment where you capitalize on, being the biggest advocate for your project. So I will say, if you were to do something like this, have everything ready. Like, have the pitch ready, have the log line ready, have all of that stuff done and ready so that, like, if you did decide to shoot your shot with an editor unsolicited, it's very professional. I'll go with that. I'll go with that. Andy said, ain't that something like a cold email or something? Yeah, it is a cold email. Like, and that's why I'm just like, I don't see what the big deal is about DMing someone, to be honest. I know people could be like, my DMs are getting flooded, which would be annoying. But if that's the case, just make your profile private. Or just have an editor profile, which, hey, I mean, I've sent DMs to Webtoons before, never heard anything back. They never sent me a cease and desist, so I mean, it just is what it is. There's no specific time frame in which a series may be greenlit for Webtoon originals. Yeah, I mean, true. Okay. Growing your series on Canvas can help you make money. Can it though? Can it help you make money? I'm sorry, but I feel like the money you make off of Webtoons is like pennies. Like, you could be on there for like 19 years and make $100. Like, I think the requirements from Webtoons is kind of insane and not really obtainable. And this is one of the things that bothers me about Webtoons is like they are very much marketed as a creator first platform with Webtoon Canvas and all of that stuff, but a lot of times like they are very inconvenient to indie creators. And what I mean by that is there's just certain things that it's like, why are you doing this? This is working against the creators. Like, do things with an idea of helping creators over making their job harder. I'm just saying. Sometimes it just does not make any sense. So far, this newsletter, I'm not necessarily gaining anything new or insightful from. What the heck? Like, guys, come on. Like, your series could be greenlit at any time. We already know that. Like, growing your series on Canvas can help you make money. I mean, I guess it can, but does it? I don't know what to even say about this. And build a fandom based on your comics. I mean, you're sure. I think that would be the most valuable thing that you could get from posting on Canvas is building a fandom, building people who are interested in your work, building fans of you as a writer or a creator, maybe of your characters. Like, all of that is probably the most valuable when you're starting out, but in the long run, some of this stuff I'm just like, you're not going to be making any money. Like, we could have just cut that out. Like, putting the money in there is almost insulting, if I'm being honest. Andy said, besides hopefully guiding the audience to Patreon, but that's only if your comic is poppin'. Yeah, see, that's another thing too. Like, yes, there is the like Patreon option, but I kind of feel like that option, I mean, it's great to have it there, but also I feel like your profile's probably still going to struggle to get patrons in the beginning. Being said, didn't they remove the Patreon button at one point? They did, and people rioted. People were not happy about it. Pan said they did when the super likes first rolled out. Yep, exactly, because they really wanted to push super likes, and this is what I'm saying. It's little things like that that is not very intuitive. It's like, okay, all of these indie creators have Patreon, most likely. We'll say 85%. That is a lot of people. And so for you to be like, okay, now you must use our system, super likes, keep that just for your original creators. Like, I get it that you want all of the money on your platform. But again, if you're marketed as a creator first platform, to an extent, I'm not saying they are, I'm just saying the marketing for it comes across that way, then you kind of need to take a little bit of accountability and work with the indie scene a little bit. Just saying. But in this instance, an editor does reach out. Okay, wait. Did I miss something? I totally missed something. So please wait for editors to reach out to you first. There's no specific time frame in which a series may be greenlit. Growing your series on Canvas can help you make money and build a fandom based on your comic. Your series doesn't need to become a Webtoon original to be successful. I agree. But in the instance an editor does reach out, we want to share what to expect to help you feel prepared and confident, which is why we want to share these important tips with you. Okay. I will agree with this 1,000%. There are tons of people that have started on Canvas. I will use Kaez as a amazing example. They were the creator of Lucky. It was a sci-fi alien romance series. And they did not necessarily have the success that they desired on Canvas. Like they were hoping to become an original or hoping to build up a large enough fan base that would be interested in Lucky to the point that, it would be a successful series and they would be doing that full time. Well, long story short, they ended up doing another series on their Patreon, and now they're making like over 10K every month from posting comics. Like, I don't know what it is exactly, but they're making really good money, like crazy. So, and they're not an original. Like, they probably make more money than some originals. Probably like over 60% don't make as much money as Kaez does. But my point with all of this is you have to start viewing Webtoons for what it is. It is just a publishing house. You can create your own success. Yes, could Webtoons help skyrocket, help jumpstart your trajectory for success? Absolutely. But don't put all of your eggs in one basket. Like, if something's not working, maybe take a break from it and try something else. Like, art is subjective. Readers go through different like trends. Like, there's a bunch of things that happen that can all contribute to something not being successful. And there's a bunch of things that happen that could contribute to a series being successful. So just be open to other ideas outside of Webtoons. I really want creators to start preparing like what they will do instead of just hoping to become a Webtoon original. Like, if that's your only egg, you are not setting yourself up for success. Just like Webtoon said in their own newsletter here, there's no specific time frame in which a series may be greenlit for Webtoon originals. So even if your series is doing everything right, it could be on the platform for years before they actually decide to greenlight the series. Whereas within those years, you could be making moves to set yourself up to be in a better position of power. Because if Webtoons comes to you and you're already making 10K a month from this series on Patreon, they're going to have to pay you a lot to get exclusivity from you, in my opinion. Or they're going to have to create a contract where you can still post on Patreon ahead of time and then Webtoon just gets the episodes later. Like, there's so much that would be involved in making a contract that's beneficial for you in that circumstance or that situation. Yes, hi Hoot Hoot. Welcome. Dragon said, I don't mind having both of the platform as a Canvas creator. I actually like the way they frame that you need to know where or when success will find you. Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the things that I think is super duper important that I think is often ignored. Like, success is on a scale. So one last important note, these tips are based on Webtoon editor insights. Okay, so this is something I also wanted to make clear. Every company has a different way that they probably would want to pitch. They probably have different formats, different setups, different things that they're looking for. Like, one company might be focusing very heavily on, let's say, like TikTok trends, whereas another company might be really focusing on the art style, or one company might really be focusing on the type of story that you're creating. Like, so there's all different types of ways that I feel like a pitch could go, and I feel like it's not a one size fits all. You know what I'm saying? Hi M. What's up, Misfits? Let's go. Okay, wow. Hoot Hoot said, yeah, there are Canvas series that get picked up after 3 episodes, while some get picked up after 40 episodes. Yeah, it's all kind of crazy. There's no pattern, at least that I can see, for becoming an original. And so back to this. So remember, as we are going through these tips, although they can be helpful for, creating a pitch for other companies, it's still Webtoon specific. So this form of pitching might not be what editors at other companies look for. That's exactly what I'm saying. Now, let's dive into our tips for editors. Tips to help preparing a pitch. Because every story creator is unique, your pitch should be too. Beyond any tips, it's always most important to make sure you and your story goals shine through. I don't necessarily 100% agree with this because I'm like, what do you mean I should shine through in the pitch? Do you mean like when I'm talking to you? Do you mean like, because I'm assuming if you email me, you're like, hey, send me a pitch, I'm sending you a doc, right? And then if you read the doc and you decide that you're interested, then we would have a face-to-face. I'm very curious about this. So while these general tips can help you know what editors will be looking for, they also get excited when you customize things. Okay. All right. I need elaboration because I'm like, what are we talking about? Like let's understand. Packaging your pitch. The format of your pitch is up to you. Editors at Webtoon are happy to receive PDF files or review websites. Okay, so what are we talking about then? Like now I'm even more confused because it's like I thought. It's going to be you sending them a document or a link of something to review. I'm like, unless you're sending them a video to be like, hi guys, Apollo here. My series is Ooh, the Queen's Games. I would love to take just a few minutes of your time to explain to you why this makes for a Webtoon original. Ooh, rah, rah. Like, what? I'm so confused by this. Okay. I think I should just keep reading because I'm just like, how am I going to shine through? Maybe I misread this. It's always most important to make sure you and your story. Okay, nope, didn't misread it. Like frosting on a cake, you can customize personal documents to make them fun. Okay. What? My mind is like, what are we talking about here? And I feel like would this convey my personality? Like, what if I decided to make it really girly and really, like, if I was doing a romance story, I feel like I would want the aesthetic to match the story. So whatever the package that I sent you to, the website, the PDF files, like, I would want it to match the vibe of the story, not my vibe, right? Like, okay, maybe I'm overthinking this. Chat, am I overthinking this? Please let me know. Hoot said probably both, like both the pitch deck and the verbal presentation. I mean, maybe. M said, I think it has to do with how you structure it and it shows you understand how to make it interesting no matter the medium. Maybe. I'm still stuck on the me presenting myself to them. Me sacrificing myself to them. Okay. Sean said, I suspect that by telling you to shine through, they don't mean it overly formal. Make it fun, but not too fun. Sean, why are you here torturing me as usual? Hi, LA. Is it like another way of saying presentation matters? Confused as well. I mean, presentation does matter, but I'm just like, that's not going to showcase my personality. Like me making the document more fun isn't going to showcase my personality because I could be the most boring person ever, but I could know how to make something look good. Like I could understand visual presentation. Like I could understand creating a vibe, a tone, a mood, and I could be like, have the personality of someone that likes to watch paint dry. Like, can we? Okay, I'm gonna keep reading. Okay, so you'll want to include 3 central ingredients to your pitch: series information, character information, and series outline. All right. So this newsletter, the whole you presenting yourself is just going to drive me crazy throughout the rest of this. So I'm going to try and ignore that fact and move on to the next topic. Okay, let's review each of these important parts. Okay, we're starting with series information. You'll want to answer these questions about your series. What are the two primary genre categories for your series? This is something that I always found kind of interesting on Webtoons, is that they did always kind of want you to pick two genres for Canvas, even though on originals, to me, it always seemed like a series led with one genre. It was romance. Like that was it. But I've always felt that, every story can be multi-genre. So it's interesting to see that they're saying, like, pick your two genres that you feel fit your series the best, just because of the fact that, one, this helps them to understand who your target demo is, possibly, or it helps them to understand if you know what type of story that you're making. I mean, it is what it is. Andy said, I was taught a pitch Bible is essential, like a scrapbook of your story with diagrams of characters and style, the story outline, etc., etc. Hey, I mean, that kind of makes sense. Bean said, yeah, I think they want to see a pitch that conveys the vibe of the series instead of something clinical and formal. I agree with that, but yeah, 100%. M said, I think they want illustrations and personality. Yeah, maybe personality of the characters. Hoot Hoot said, I wish they could give us a framework of how our pitch packet should be structured. I think they want to see professional stuff like character sheets and concept sketches. I would agree with that as well, Hoot Hoot. I feel like they're trying to be more vague with this just because they don't want to lock anybody into anything specific. But I also feel like you guys, they've got to be specific. So let's continue. On Webtoon, you can choose up to two categories that reflect the genre of your story. Genre is an important part of how readers experience your story. While editors usually know the genre of your story based on your Canvas series, we recommend listing it near the start of your pitch just so it's easy to reference. It reinforces context for the following information. Question: is your story similar to any existing media? Okay, this is something that I think is really important to understand, is if your story does have a similar vibe to another story, it just makes sense to tell somebody, my story is The Hunger Games meets zombies. My story is Naruto meets, I don't know. My mind is going blank. Naruto meets Thriller. I don't know. I'm just throwing out random things. But I'm just saying, like, Game of Thrones, but sci-fi. Star Wars, but make it Disney princess. Like, I don't know. It's already a Disney princess. I don't know. I'm just throwing out ideas. I'm just saying it's so easy for people to immediately grasp what you're saying if you have a point of reference for your story. And so it always bothers me whenever creators are kind of like, my story isn't like any other stories. And I'm like, bro, it is. Like, what inspired you to make the story? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, you could even use things like Greek mythology or, your own mythology that is, essential to you and your culture or you as a person. Like, it could be anything. Like, I'm just saying, like, give people a point of reference. That is very, very helpful. And it drives me crazy when people are like, my thing is just super original. It's not. It's okay to list other media your story might share similar vibes with, such as movies, games, or even music. Oh, music is a good one. While your story is unique, if you know what media your series is similar to, it shows editors that you understand your target audience. Absolutely. This is one of the things that I feel like people don't understand too, is like people aren't looking, when people ask this question, it's not because, hey, I want to see if you're just going to be stealing. It's also, okay, so these are the people that you want to be targeting. These are the type of people that you want to be marketing towards. So what can also be helpful is looking at what that series did to market to gain the success that it did. So like, what were the commercials like? What were the ads like? Like all of that stuff is super beneficial to creators. And I feel like it is something that is super underutilized. And if you do not know a series that is similar to yours, sit down and think about it. And this could also be something that would help you with marketing. You're basically saying fans of this media are high potential fans of my series. I 1000% agree. Optional. Are tropes a central theme of your story? Not every story relies on tropes, but if yours does, that's great. I don't know how I feel about this because I feel like every story has tropes in it and every story to an extent uses it. So I don't, it's like, are tropes a central theme of your story? And I mean, I feel like I guess that could go either way. I don't want to like fight them too hard on everything, but I just feel like every story uses tropes. Every story can be broken down into tropes. Let me know, chat. Do you agree or disagree? Do you guys think that there are stories that don't use tropes? If so, I would love to know what stories, and I would love to know, what the story is about so that I could be like, it's this trope. Editors want to know what your trope goals are. Example, hot people being hot. What? Enemies to lovers. Hot people being hot. What? Is that a trope? What is that? Is that like what is that? Is that like a Love Island thing? Like just like hot people having fun on an island, like doing hot people things? Like what? I've never heard of this trope. Okay, that broke my brain. Enemies to lovers, reincarnation, death, the Grim Reaper is the main love interest. Vampires, the villainess becomes the heroine, etc. Yeah, I mean, I will say all of these tropes, in my opinion, kind of describe webtoons, like what's on their platform. Like literally, this should just be pasted on their homepage. Like for real, for real. Okay, so now we're getting into our next question. We answered this before. What's the log line? This one sentence description of your series can be helpful to include in a pitch. It usually outlines the series hook and introduces core themes, characters, or objectives. For help developing your log line, check out the latest newsletter. Okay, so let's master log lines. Oh, no, that's the link. Okay, so you can click there to master the log line. Dang, Andy, you coming in hot. Hot people doing hot things. That's the Queen's Games, ain't it? Andy, you talk big, but you won't meet me outside. So you clearly don't want none of this smoke. I mean, come on now. Like don't throw the rock and hide your hand. I'm ready for you. Where you at? Oh my good grief. Drama Mama, what's up? Hello. Hi, Kai-san. Hello. Sean said, yeah, technically you can dissect any series into a bunch of tropes. I think they were wondering how central the trope was in developing the pitch. I'm sure some series are developed trope first. Yeah, maybe so. I just find that to be an odd question to include in your packet and then be like, this is optional. But I'm like, but if you included it, I feel like it's not optional. Like, I feel like I don't know who wrote this newsletter, but you should have scrapped this optional one and it should have been left here. Like, oh my good grief. I'm so irritated by this, but I get it. Whatever. Okay, character information. Optional splash art. It can be fun for editors to see an example of your character art. Okay, I feel that. I think that art goes a long way, and especially doing something fun and impactful would really help the editors to see the vision, to see the goal of what you're trying to create. And I think it's helpful for the person who's making the series too. Like, it can be that boost that you need. Oh my good grief. Drama. What? Drama said, Apollo, I was trying to describe what you are to the Webtoon world and I finally figured it out. Okay. Yes. I agree with Kai-san. Yes, please tell me what you have decided on. Hoot Hoot said, okay, so basically a character sheet. I mean, I'm guessing the splash art would be like a really cool illustration, and then you would have some character sheets attached with it. So you would have like your cover image, like your big, epic, grand image that's going to lure people in and make them figure out what the series is, and then you would have your character sheets after that. Okay, so then they have, from that, you would have character summaries/descriptions. The following information is high priority for editors at Webtoons. It helps to include this information for all main protagonists and antagonists. They'll look for your character's wants, needs, flaws, how they change throughout the story. This is interesting because I feel like I read many webtoons where the character never changes. Never, ever. They get to the end of the story and they have learned nothing. They have done nothing. They are the same person. Except now they have bangs because it's a sign of their character growth. Oh, drama. You are an owl for webtoons. An owl? What does this mean? Explain this definition. I like the idea of being an owl though. For help discovering this information about characters, check out this past newsletter. Get to know your characters more. Oh my good grief. Am I an owl? Should that, I do in my news video layout. I haven't done one of those in a while, but I do have a bird sitting on the desk. I 1000% will change it to an owl. Like, I love this. Sean said facts. There are some very successful webtoons with zero character growth. Yeah, I'm just like, what are you talking about? This is a lie. You might as well just scratch that off the bottom. Just saying. Series outline. A series outline is generally 1 to 3 pages. Most outlines have 3 parts. Just like most stories have a beginning, middle, and end. A strong pitch may have 3 paragraphs minimum to 3 pages maximum, dedicated to an outline. But remember, a concise pitch conveys confidence. I mean, yeah, I agree. Like, I guess they're saying if you're scattered all over the place, you're not confident, but I know plenty of creators that would be very scattered and could ramble for 16 years about their story, and they would feel extremely confident that they sold you on it. So I get what you're saying. I just don't like the execution of it. Remember, an outline will cover the main conflicts, the stakes, and how the characters change to achieve what they ultimately need. I'm just thinking about series on webtoons where I'm like, when did they change? What did they do? An outline usually covers the full story, but if you've only worked out your plans for the first season, it's okay if your outline focuses on that portion of your story. In that case, be sure to highlight the main objective of how your story will end. This can change, but it gives editors context of what you're working towards right now. For tips on outlines, check out this former newsletter, Series Outline Tips for Webtoon. Okay, so here's my thing about this. They say you can break it up into seasons, but they also want to know that you know the ending of the story. But I feel like that's counterproductive because you're kind of forcing them to, like, if the person is like, I only have season 1, and then you're like, but I want to know how the series is going to end. I get that that's really a really important goal to have, and I 100% agree. I just feel like if they've told you this and you're at that point, maybe it's not the best idea to force them to come up with an idea for something beyond what they're ready to compose. It's like the creator of One Piece being like, so he finds the treasure at the end. That is so irrelevant to the pitch, because do you see how much of story is in between the beginning of One Piece and the end that is never coming? Like, I'm just like, okay, I mean, I agree, but also I feel like if they told you they don't know, like, this is not productive. But okay, I'm gonna move on from this. Okay, so let's look at this. Ultimately, a pitch should answer a few main questions. Who are your main characters? Yes, please do not submit 19 million characters. Like, limit it to just a few characters. What are your characters' main goals at the start of your series? Yes, I feel like it's important for a character to have a different goal from when they start the series to the end of the series, because if they are growing, I feel like their going to change as they develop throughout the series. So like their personal goal might be to save the world or whatever, but then maybe along the way they realize they can't. They need to find or do something to help them actually accomplish the goal. So it might change as it flows. Sean said, I recommend for a Webtoon pitch to have your first season in point and several points of extension ready to go. Like the OG Star Wars is a good model. I agree. What conflicts do they encounter and what are the stakes if they fail? Oh, I do think that having stakes is super important because there, again, a lot of webtoons, I don't think there are any stakes. Like there's this one series I actually really enjoy reading, and she's like a mastermind character, and I'm just like, so if you failed this, nothing would have happened. Like she's like sabotaging her family and making them like destitute. She's like, you guys killed me in my past life, so I'm just going to ruin your lives. And I'm just like, so if her plan fails, does anything happen to her? Like she's good, like nothing's happening for real. So I don't know. I feel like I hate stories that don't have stakes, but it's just interesting to see all of this stuff that Webtoons is saying that you should have in your pitch, and that I agree with. But I feel like there's so many series on Webtoons that none of this happens. Drama said, because you are like a well of wisdom and have a lot of understanding / comprehension and a lot of hindsight. I was telling others about you on my live, and that was the easiest way for me to describe you to them. I love being an owl, so I will take it. I think I know which webtoon you're talking about. I feel the same way about it. I love that webtoon though. I think it's such a fun read. It's very chaotic. It's very cute. I think she has a lot of like you go girl moments, but overall the story, nothing's happening. She's not progressing. She's not changing. She's just like, she is the plot. Like she is Wanda from Marvel, and she's just like rewriting reality, and like everybody just has to deal with it. Okay. And then the very last question, how do they change throughout the course of the story? They don't. Because it's webtoons. Okay, everybody is like, I like the story. I'm so glad I'm not the only one that's just like, this is brain candy. It's fun. Like, I really enjoy it. So it is what it is. Okay, how long does a pitch need to be? Webtoon editors recommend a pitch be around 5 pages long. That's kind of crazy because I guess, like, to answer Hoot Hoot earlier, when we were talking about characters, I guess they don't want character sheets. So it says splash art. So I guess it would just be one image. That's kind of crazy. Like, what the heck is going on? I don't understand. Like, I feel like character sheets would actually be really good. It's weird that they don't want them. Because I'm like, if 3 pages of it is the summary, 1 page is like your like log line page, and then 1 page is the splash art. That's all 5 pages. That's crazy. Like I feel like they don't want character sheets. Has anyone pitched at Webtoons before? Let us know. Discreetly be like, I can't confirm this, but I can confirm this. just say it. Editors will want the spoilers. Oh yeah, this is another thing that I also don't understand sometimes is like, if you're trying to help somebody with their story and they're like, I don't want to spoil you. I'm like, I need to know your vision to help you. Like, if you can't tell me the dirty secrets, which I understand you may not want to, like you're revealing your twist, you're revealing your whatever, but in order to understand your vision and where you're going and help you with setup and help you with Easter eggs and foreshadowing, I need to understand the story almost as good as you, if not better, to be able to help you. But they don't need every detail of your story in a pitch. Yes, in a pitch, but clearly they need it later. because they're already reading your Canvas series. Okay, so they're plugging Canvas here, obviously. They're like, listen, you should be on Canvas releasing this story. That's the only way that you can ever get a pit or get greenlit from us, is if you're posting on Canvas. That's how that reads to me. They've seen your characters in action, the initial conflicts, and the introduction to your world building. Your Canvas series is what motivates them to reach out. Your pitch is more like a view behind the curtain. What are your ultimate plans? Okay, listen. I can't 100% confirm that I have said, view behind the curtain before this newsletter came out. But that's one of my sayings. They're stealing my sayings. I am not happy about this. Listen, get your own sayings, Webtoons. I am always talking about you guys pulling back the curtain. Don't reverse Uno this on us, okay? Like, come up with your own sayings. I'm not happy about this. I need to write them a letter. Listen, I'm going to DM them and be like, listen, you, whoever is writing those newsletters, you better understand. Yes, I make free content. Yes, I post my thoughts on YouTube, but you can't just steal my words. Oh my good grief. A concise pitch conveys confidence. I agree. I'm just annoyed at them. It can help to think of a pitch like you're telling someone you're going on a dream trip. If you start by describing all the details about how you planned it and how you're getting there, you might overwhelm someone and they may miss the point, your destination. Yeah, absolutely. Like, literally, you should just say, like, I'm going to Italy. And then be like, I'm looking forward to seeing the Colosseum. I'm looking forward to riding a gondola. I'm looking forward to trying some amazing food. Like, all of that would be like super, 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 more interesting than you talking about how, like, oh, I spent 16 sleepless nights looking up airplane tickets. I tried to, compare all of the hotels. Nobody cares. Do not give them any of that background information, okay? Oh my god. Hoot Hoot said, then in regard, I don't think they want environmental designs too, since they're okay with generic 3D backgrounds and stuff. Yeah, I would agree with that, Hoot Hoot. I think they just want to get the vibe from the illustration, what you're trying to make. Andy said, 1 second, y'all. Andy said, we'll never know who Silas will end up with at this point. Hee hee. What are you talking about, Andy? You need to tell us. If that series gets deleted and you don't at least give us the tea, I'm coming for you. I know what state you live in. I know where you are. Oh, Talt, hello. Perfect timing. I'm working on my pitch literally right now. Ooh, let's go, Talt. I don't know if you can answer this or not, but I'm not going to ask. I'm not going to ask publicly. I'll leave that alone. Good. I'm rooting for you, Talt. I'm rooting for you 100%. Sean said, that is clearly a veiled shot at you, Apollo. It is! It really is a veiled shot at me. I'm glad I am not the only one who is like, is it just me? Like, I am always being like, Webtoons, be more transparent. They're like, creators, be more transparent. How dare you? How dare you? Creators have no choice but to be transparent. Oh my good grief. I could yap about that for forever. If you start by describing all the details about how you planned it and how you're getting there, you might overwhelm someone and they may miss the point, your destination. Rather than laying out your full itinerary for the trip, you tell someone the main highlights, where you're going, how long you're staying, and what you're excited to see. Absolutely. Is that not what I said? Yes, this is actually a really good analogy. A pitch is similar. This will be the first time an editor is hearing the long-term goals of your series, so try to make it brief and easy to understand for someone new to this information. But what about the details? They're fun. Your story may include side quests, side characters, and profound world building. These details are what excite you most, obsess fans, and help your story feel, quote, real. The industry term for all the developmental and concept work related to your series is a story Bible. Is that not what someone said something about a Bible earlier? While this content is helpful for creators, that material isn't technically a pitch. Editors at Webtoons will also want to know those full details later. See, I told you they want all the tea later. For 100 in the pitch, they want the bare minimum. For now, if you're invited to pitch your story, it can be helpful to focus on just the core information. Absolutely. This is where I was saying, like, refining down the information as much as possible is really important. Like they said, a summary of the series. So you would summarize a season in 3 pages. So I would say for that, even if you could summarize it in less, that's even better, because then they can read it. And if they have questions, obviously they'll be like, so I would like you to elaborate on this, or I'd like to know more about this. Like you can get a back and forth going after they've read over the pitch. It's kind of like a resume. Like, you don't want your resume to be more than 1 page. You really want it to be, 1 page, easy to read, not a lot of text, not a lot of information. Is just cut and paste. Straightforward information. That's it. Yes, Hoot Hoot, please send me a link to the pitch guide later. Maybe it's something that I can read on stream, or we can discuss. Like, send it to me. I love to know the information you have, Hoot Hoot. Hoot Hoot is my brain, to be honest. Like, obviously, with me being Owl, Hoot Hoot is like the grand Owl. So, heart to Hoot Hoot. Okay. Was that it? We hope these tips help you feel prepared and confident if an editor from Webtoon reaches out. This concludes our tips to help. Please let us know how you like the newsletter. Needs work. Was that it? That's it. So all in all, I like that they gave their perspective. They pulled back the curtain to let us understand like what they expect. And this is a great reference for anybody who ends up having to pitch Webtoons. I think this is perfect. I think this is something that can be really, really helpful to anyone in the future. I think this is an absolutely amazing resource to have. I didn't necessarily care for the newsletter, to be honest, but I did like the series. I didn't like the conclusion to this one. I just feel like there's some animosity for me as I read it. I was trying to be fair, but I'm like, I don't think I was being fair to this newsletter. Loved yesterday's newsletter, total banger. Today's newsletter, I'll give it a 5 out of 10. Mostly because of the pull back the curtain comment. Like, seriously, bro. Like, what the heck? What are you doing? Like, why are you doing this to us? Okay, I will chat for just a few more moments and then I'm going to get off. So just like the back cover of a book with a summary of the book. Yeah, exactly. That's what they want. They want a summary of the book. That's it. The Grand Owl. Exactly. That's Hoot Hoot for sure. Oh, you can be the little Grand Owl. Let's go with that. Kaisen said it really comes together. I really do think that the newsletter actually, this series of newsletters has actually been really good. I like that it did actually give creators some information on what to do in the future, especially if Webtoons reaches out to them. Sean said, I don't know if they pulled it all the way back, but at least they waved the curtain around a little bit. Yes, the curtain was dancing. And things were falling out from behind the curtain. Like, we were hearing some noises. Like, it was that sort of vibe. Like, it wasn't a full-on pullback. I feel like a full-on pullback would have been if they had given us an example of a literal pitch that has happened in the past. Like, if they pulled up like Lore Olympus's pitch, or they pulled up the Unordinary pitch, that would have been really cool to see. And I feel like that would have really helped make this newsletter a 10. Am I always asking for more from Webtoons? Absolutely, because they have marketed themselves as a creator first platform to me, in my opinion. That could be 100% wrong. People could be like, where are you getting this from? I get it from the vibe that they give, okay? Okay. Kaisan agrees. He says it's an accurate reading. 1000%. M said, I think it's good that they made this because I feel like we might have butched our pitch without this. Yeah. I really do think that this is really helpful to help creators know exactly what webtoons want. Knowing that they want 5 pages, knowing that 3 of those pages is a summary, 1 is splash art, and 1 is basically like the cover page, like the logline page or whatever. I feel like all of that's pretty useful. Like you have your series information, so that's like your genre, your logline, that sort of thing. It answers a few important questions. Then you have your character information, and then you have your series outline. That's it. So I love it. I think it's perfect. Like I like the idea of doing like a less is more, because I feel like the issue with creators is like we can yap about our series to fill dictionaries. So I feel like that's the vibe. M said showing an older pitch though would have maybe made it harder to get new ideas and not just copy the format. I feel like I get what you're saying. I disagree because I feel like it's just an example. Like, it doesn't mean you have to do yours just like this. If you decide to do it like this, then you're not using your own creativity. I just feel like it would have been really nice to see how, like, Rachel summarized her season, because I'm assuming maybe she broke it up into seasons. I don't know if she did a whole entire story, but that would have been really cool to see how she decided to break it up. It would have been really cool to see how, like, what the splash art looked like that would have been, even if they didn't want to do a full example, they could have showed examples like this is the splash art, because what is splash art? Like, to me that's like a cover illustration, but maybe people decide to do like character illustrations for theirs. Maybe people decide to do things that are just like a little more like, and I guess that's where it falls into like your wheelhouse, like what you decide you want to present. Because I feel like I would love a character sheet more than just a pretty illustration. So I don't know. I get what you're saying. I just feel like an example would have been nice. It would have solidified to me even more what they wanted just from being able to see it. Hoodoo said, in my opinion, with Lore Olympus and the older Webtoon, maybe the standards were a lot lower that time, which is fine, but I still think she had to pitch, right? Like, Rachel, I just want to see the pitch, which would be great because even if it is out of date, it would be like, why would you adapt an older style pitch when we've told you what we want? Like, this is literally just for example purposes. Sean said, remember, make your pitch both fun and pretty, but mostly legible. Talt said, I did assume creators had to give their pitches through FaceTime or in a call. It's both more and less nerve-wracking to fit everything in 5 pages. Yeah, I think to jump on what Talt's saying right here, I think that it makes a lot of sense to do just, I want to read what you've written down, because there's no sense in us doing a call when you could be a bad public speaker, and it's just easier and this also forces you to think about your series before we have any sort of discussion. So I feel like a written pitch makes way more sense as the initial meeting than doing an actual call. Like, maybe a call just to talk to you, be like, how are you? That sort of thing, like a very short impromptu meeting. But other than that, I would not call, if I was an editor, I would not call to talk to a creator without knowing they have all of this information already ready. M said, same. I was thinking it would have been an interview. Yeah, I think they will interview you after this. I'll just being honest. Sean said, show your dominance, Taught. Submit 5.5 pages. Ooh, the drama. Yeah. Submit some character sheets with your pitch. Like, honestly, just look at an illustration. Shouldn't be terrible. Kyson said they probably want to see what they're gonna work with. Yeah, I get why there isn't an example included. I just feel like I would have liked it as someone who's just like documenting all of this information. I feel like I would have liked. Maybe that's what I should ask the next original that I talk to. I'll be like, so how many pages was your pitch? If these walls could talk. Okay, guys, so that is going to be it for tonight. I'm glad that we were finally able to catch up on the Webtoon newsletters. I cannot wait to talk to you guys again. I still have a few more videos coming at you very soon. The Disney video is something that I am slowly chipping away at. I want to go over the last earning call. It's been kind of late, so I'm like, is it still relevant? But I kind of want to talk about it, so maybe I'll squeeze it into the Disney video. I just have a bunch of stuff that I want to talk to you guys about. I would also love to hear what you want me to make, like what type of content, so you can comment that down below. I really feel like I'm going to start leaning a little more heavily into some business type stuff, because I feel like a lot of artists focus on like being a better writer, being a better artist, but we see so many series on Webtoons that garner mega success that aren't necessarily the best written or best drawn stories. And so I think sometimes you need to focus on some other aspects in order to improve. So I'm talking marketing, I'm talking contracts, I'm talking accounting, taxes, that sort of stuff. Like all of that I feel like could be really, really useful to cover in future videos that could be really beneficial to creators, and start thinking outside of the box in terms of like how to approach becoming like a Webtoon business juggernaut, like destroyer of worlds. Knuckle, what's up? Will there be replay available? Yeah, I always leave these streams up. If you want to jump ahead to where we actually start discussing the video, skip to like between 7 and 10 minutes, somewhere in there, I actually start reading the letter. Yes, I'm here for the business. Kyson said talking about the business side would be a big help. Yes. I have a lot of ideas. I'm actually working on a collab with someone who is so deep into marketing. I've learned so much from them. I love it. Like every time I talk to them, I'm just like, what the heck? Like you are blowing my mind with these strategies. Like it's insane. I love it. Sean said excited for a business centered video, but you have to continue to cover newsletters to decode any more passive-aggressive sniping directed at you. Hey, are they gonna continue the newsletters after the contest? I feel like they may not. Like, I feel like they said they will, but I feel like they won't. I'm just saying. Oh, cartoonist, hello, what's up? Yeah, we're at the very end of the video. I'm sorry. I'm planning to do more videos, so I'm just saying. Just keep an eye out for sure. Raven 1799 said business stuff is so confusing, and I don't know. I feel like there's not enough info out there. Like how the crap do I tax my income? Ooh. Okay, we'll do a small tax video. I don't want to go too deep into it because like taxes vary from state to state. They also vary from country to country. And especially where I live, you have federal, you have state. So it's really important to make sure you get that right. I think I'll just bring attention to what I think you should be doing and how you can go about calculating it. Let's see. Oh, who said invite? I'm not sure how to pronounce the name. Pluvius. She's out there making books, keychains, and going to cons. Yeah. I think I know who you're talking about. Is that the creator that has like the like characters are like all children and they have like elemental powers or something? I've talked to them before and we were going to collab and then we never did. So I should definitely reach out to them for sure. All right, Hoot, remind me of this so that I can DM them. Okay, so that is going to end the video. Thanks so much for dropping by. Please leave me a like. I would really appreciate it, just to get back at Sean, because Sean said I would cry if I didn't get likes. So make sure to not make what Sean says come true by doing what he said I wouldn't do. All right, I will talk to you guys later. Have a good night. Bye bye.